Hello everyone! Welcome to DW Randomizer. We're continuing our coverage of the group stage of the Summer 2022 Dragon Warrior Randomizer Tournament. Summer Tournament is played with standard flags, and this year's format's divided into 3 stages. All players have the option to compete in 5 random seeds run asynchronously to determine seeding for the group stage. In the group stage, a head-to-head round-robin event will occur within every group, which has 7 or 8 runners each, and the top 3 from every group will then advance to the third and final stage, where a traditional bracket-style elimination contest will determine this year's tournament champion. Tonight's broadcast will feature 2 runners from the Ghost group, ScarletShadoww and Vertical Sandwich. ScarletShadoww is coming in at 2-1 and Vertical Sandwich at 3-1, so potential playoff implications tonight. Special thanks to our restreamer, Archfield Monk. Our tracker is Centroid41, and joining me on the mic, it's also Centroid41. How's it going?
Pretty good, thanks. Yeah, it looks like we just got our tracker updated so we can see our starting stats here, we've got, I think 9 attack power is a pretty generous start. I'm used to seeing a lot less than, now that we've entered strength HP builds, we're down to 7 and 7. I don't know. I think they'll be okay.
Yeah, 7 is certainly a bit low, so I'm sure they were going to want some help from the throne room. They are going to have the return spell, though, so if our runners make use of that, we can hang on to the key. So let's see what happens next. Aha, we have the cursed belt and the fighter's ring. So +2, we're back up to 9 Centroid. There we go.
Got to watch and see if they actually put it on. This is one of the hardest parts to tracking is, did they put the ring on or not? But yeah, this return spell is definitely going to open up like 4 additional checks for us really quickly. These types of seeds have a tendency to be jet, but we'll see how it goes. We'll see what's in the treasury. Oh, we got both runners up. Well, both runners are going to save first, which is they're activating. They're both activating the gold chest glitch, and they're saving their games so that they can reset if they don't like what they see.
Yeah, actually they can't get a glitch this way because they hit the overwhelm with that return spell. But saving is always good because, you can hang on to the key. We're at that borderline strength, like you said, with 9 attack power. You could probably get off the ground without any help here, but if the sword is sitting in here, of course, you're going to want to take it. So I think, a quest item in there. Maybe was it the Stones of Sunlight?
Yeah, Stones was in the bottom right. They opened them in a little different order, but I think top left was key, bottom left was herb. God, was in the middle. The second belt. So we have 2 belts already.
Oh, wait a minute. No, vertical sandwich is... this is weird. Yeah, okay. He checked just in time because there was an extra key, but then he was maybe going to use the key there without having any money, and caught himself just in time and aborted checking the basement and decides to go out into the overworld. So they both have 1 key right now, but no money. So you're sitting there with 1 key, so if you go and find Garenham or something, you're going to have a decision here. So hopefully they're able to actually save up some money so that they can buy more keys. And oh my gosh, there's a Dragon Lord Breath by the red slime. Oof.
The good news is they have 2 cursed belts each, so that should get them 360. I don't know, at least pick them up like a club and some leather armor, and then that'll give them some money to... Oh, I forgot about this. There's another key in... There is a key in the treasury, so... I can't remember if vertical sandwich did not reset. Looks like he's just getting another belt, another herb, and picking up his key. I like that play.
I kind of like that too. If you get enough belts, you can get a hand axe, right? And he's actually opting to save again, probably so that he can go ahead and check the basement without actually losing the key. So that's kind of an interesting play. He's falling a little behind on experience while he's doing all this. ScarletShadoww did get to level 2. We saw a little bit of a strength gain on level 2, so a lot of these monsters are one-shottable now. That red slime, I don't think ScarletShadoww even knows the red slime's dangerous, but if you're always one-shotting it, it's no problem.
We'll see. We might find out soon, but yeah, you could go the whole season without seeing that. Let's see, did get level 3 there, 3, 3, 3, and 6, no spells.
Yeah, the spells are not useful yet for battle, but we are up to almost 20 strength, so probably going to stick in the primary zones, but there's no problem making more progress here. You just have to get to 35 points to get to level 4, so ScarletShadoww is just going to look for the small monsters here, 3 or 4 fights, and we'll have level 4 very quickly. Vertical Sandwich, again, is it's taking a bit longer, but the crit there on the Drakey with only 7 or 9 attack power jumps to level 2 right away, so he'll get the nice 9 strength that level 2 affords. The Radiant spell not too useful, but and immediately goes out into the world to try and find a place where he could sell the cursed belts and convert that into some early gear, but so far just a bunch of empty space.
Yeah, I do understand the thought process. Like, you spent all this time, investing in your strategy of, getting more belts and stuff. So I like the idea of just sticking with your plan and committing to it. If he doesn't find anything soon, maybe just then you could settle out. Oh, there's a town.
It's actually not too far away. ScarletShadoww has poked a little bit in every direction now as well, but trying not to stray out of the zone. And so the town is just like a half a screen further off to the east. Without even, I think, checking the shops, immediately going for the selling of the cursed belts here. Not sure if he also sells the ring, he might be able to get up to 560. you can sell the herb as well. So if for some reason there's a hand axe here, yeah, so the ring sells for 15. So yeah, well, hasn't done it yet, but there we go. Selling the ring for 15. So now we have hand axe money, and I'm gonna go check the shops. There are 2 shops available right away, and again, if he wants to burn a key, he can check a 3rd shop there, but then he may have to, spend some of the money on keys so that we don't run out. Alright, club is one option. There's a broadsword for later, but we can't afford that yet. There's a possibility of slow grinding a whole bunch of cursed belts to make that happen, but that would take several minutes to do that. And we do have Caitlin on both screens now, so... Alright, so what was in that bottom shop? Anything worth buying there?
Vertical Sandwich did pick up a hand axe. I didn't see the rest of it. I know we got a club from ScarletShadoww.
Yeah, that's actually pretty interesting because ScarletShadoww doesn't have as many cursed belts in inventory, so it's going to see the hand axe here and probably is just going to assume that he has to wait for later. So it's a really interesting sequence that Sandwich came up with to go back into the treasury a couple of times to get multiple cursed belts. And I think we're going to see that's going to help quite a bit on this early grind. He saw some warlocks and things in the secondary zone that all of a sudden are in play right away. And he's going to catch it. He's already caught up on that experience from the first few minutes and probably is about to take the lead.
He paid off immediately. There's a double Sparko bridge on that screen.
Yeah, yet another warlock, which ScarletShadoww would have trouble damaging right now, but that hand axe puts him Sandwich into a nice, comfortable, maybe 3-shot range here. Gets another warlock for level 4. So, or no, I'm sorry. Jump. Was this? Where are we here?
No, ScarletShadoww
experience.
Yeah.
So also just jumped way over 35. Is that what just happened?
Yeah, that's what just happened, yeah.
Okay. Kept thinking he was going to level 5, but it was just going from 3 to 4. Just overkill there. So back maybe for another cursed belt. Maybe head back over and pick up some, small shields or maybe some herbs or something. See what happens here.
Yeah, level 4 had a nice double-digit gain in a couple stats. I want to say HP and Strength were both some double-digit gains. Or MP for sure went from like 12 to 23.
Yeah, very interesting sequence. Vertical Sandwich going back in for yet another cursed belt that does sell for another 180. Probably heading across, and I predict it's just going to be like a stack of herbs for that money. Unless there was something specific, leather armor, small shield, something like that.
Yeah, I think you could convert that into 2 keys if you take it into the back of Tantagel. I think it's 90 something in Caitlin, so it wouldn't work.
Oh, that would take a while, but yeah, you could. That's one way you could stock up on a full set of keys. If you go, you'd have to run back and forth and not get sniped in between. But yeah, very interesting start here by both runners. Did you happen to catch if Vertical Sandwich checked the basement?
He did not. I don't think he went all the way down there.
Okay.
ScarletShadoww picks up level 5, which gives him the hurt spell. So that early advantage by Vertical Sandwich was pretty big, getting that hand axe. I think the hurt spell is definitely going to close the gap a little bit.
Actually, ScarletShadoww is making a very similar play now. Only picked up 1 curse spell and is threatening to go save the game or something. Wait, didn't save, but now is going to... Wait a minute now. Okay. Alright, so used, I think, his only key, but he does have money to rebuy the key now.
I think that's accurate, yeah. I don't think he's got another key.
Now we're going to get a basement check, at least, from ScarletShadoww. So, if we missed it somehow by Vertical Sandwich, we're going to see what it is right now. And it's a dark place, and looks like it might be the grave. Interesting. Wait. Just nopes out of it? Okay.
Yeah, I'm not sure what that was either. I was watching the shop.
Yep, gotcha. Pulling double duty as our tracker today, so I don't blame you. So ScarletShadoww clicks open the inventory. He does have the 1 key still with 1 herb. He's trying not to get sniped on the way back across. He's carrying that 1 cursed belt. And what did Vertical Sandwich end up doing with his extra cursed belt that he picked up? Man, this is a weird start. They just like they're walking back and forth, just carting the belts over to the shop, back and forth between the castle and the town, just to try and gear up here. It's kind of cool.
Telling my kids this is Dragon Warrior 4. They're both being Tulun and
yep. Buy low, sell high. Keep going, walk back and forth between the towns. Yeah, Sandwich is heading back yet again.
I'm pretty sure he picked up a dragon scale as well as a small shield. So a little improvement, but nothing too great.
Well, let's see. Scarlet is selling cursed belts here, and does have hand axe money. So the same play. It's just happening a little bit, later. So Sandwich had the weapon advantage for about 5 minutes and took a little bit of an experience lead with that. But now we are going to get evened up here as Scarlet uses the remainder to buy a couple of torches, and it's going to head over and get the hand axe upgrade. So very heads-up plays by these runners. I don't think you would see a lot of players in this tournament thinking of this, and they've both done it now. And we're going back in for more on Sandwich's side, so maybe there's like some chainmails, like something. So would clearly just doing more curse belt grinding. Maybe he wants to just do what you said and just save up some money now to go buy more keys before that becomes a problem.
Yeah, I don't remember what was in that bottom shop. I know the top shop just had a close, which wasn't really that great, but...
Sandwich makes basically the same play where he had enough money just from the battles to buy one key. So it just goes through, rebuys the one key, just so that we can get a basement check. And I'm just wondering if he'll try and actually run through here. There's no more money that you have to worry about losing, so you might as well just make a run for it. I'm actually a little surprised Scarlet didn't just at least try and run in here. Unfortunately, the ambush and the hurt more by the Drakima is pretty unlucky because he was running in there on very low HP. Of course, they don't have healing yet. So, low HP and gets ambushed.
I think Scarlet may have forgot that they have the Radiant spell because they did just buy two. First of all, he noped out of the grave, and second of all, he bought a couple torches in the store, so I wasn't sure if those were for lighting up or for throwing at enemies, but I don't think he needs them anymore now that he has hurt spell. So, although here's the thing: when you get into Sharlock later, it is always nice to have a backup torch, just so you don't have to burn, 2 MP, on Radiant. You could save that for a heal Morris if needed.
Yep, totally agree with all of that. It's
And you might as well buy it while you're sitting in a shop rather than waiting until, an hour and a half from now. Ooh, metal slime. There
is a metal slime. Now, they're a little too strong for it to not run away, but there's a crit.
Crit.
Just crit. That is the strategy of the tournament, right? Just crit. And that basically doubles his experience. That particular one was worth 160 because we're playing with scaled flags have become part of the standard flag set. And but that's a pretty big jump for Vertical Sandwich. We're up to level 6, and he makes it to the top 3 here. Got some more money. That actually could be pretty useful. Oh, and he has a gold grind set up because he popped into the treasury first. That's also a very heads-up play.
There were some
cleared out the treasury, went up and down into the throne room, and now there's a gold grind, and there's some big gear nearby. This is huge. What a great play. They're making really good plays, and it's very impressive.
Yeah, I'm going to have to watch this one back. Take some notes. Let's see what the wings actually were. Might have been I don't even know. Might have been another magic key. Yeah, here he goes.
What's funny is he went through the trouble to get an extra key as well, just in case he wanted to dive deep grave. So I think, because didn't he come in here and then maybe now he's back? I think he must have known that grave was here. If not, maybe it's just coincidence, but he has a second key, and I think the idea was in case, we went diving down into the grave. Now he probably will just try and get out of here because he's carrying a bunch of money.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, we did see both runners hit level 6 at basically the same time, but this gold grind is going to be a big separator if ScarletShadoww doesn't find it soon. And it seems like they've been both making the same plays that the other one are making, like one right after the other. So,
You want to use some herbs here. Oh, okay, there we go. Because the agility is decent, so he's been getting away from some big monsters. But then, yeah, you definitely want to use those herbs. That's why you bought them.
Yeah, there was an Axe Knight run. An Axe Knight run and a Demon Knight run to save the gold, so very well done.
I'm not sure he ever checked the third shop. I think he probably did at some point. So knows exactly what's available in the town. So 18,000 to me means, I don't know. It could be several different different combinations of things. There was definitely a broadsword. Maybe there was even a flame sword in that top shop. Magic armor for sure. So maybe that's what it is. Flame sword, magic armor, large shields. That could be 18 grand. Maybe he's just going to check the third shop now. Or if he checked it, maybe this is where all the good stuff is. So there's that large shield. Whoops. Yeah, going back for the large shield. I'm pretty sure there's no silver shield or he would have saved up more money than this. And there we go. Nice pickup there. I'm pretty sure there is a flame sword and a magic armor available. So this is going to be huge. As soon as he's done with this, he can get out onto the map and get that experience lead going again. Pretty good play, and it didn't hurt that he also got a metal slime along the way as well. So spending so much time just, you know, messing with the shops, but not actually even that far behind with experience either. So ScarletShadoww is, I think, making the exact same play. Clearing out the treasury. I didn't notice if he popped up and down into the throne room. That's how you get an additional 3 chests so that you can activate the glitch. But he is going to be going into the grave now after opening all the chests in the treasury.
And Scarlet picks up a couple keys, so I think both of her runners are set on keys for the time being. More metal slimes.
Yep, so far this one's sticking around. You only have to hit them 3 times, but they have a 25% chance of running every turn. And so easier said than done. It's 50-50 to do 1 damage. And here we are. We're lighting this cave up, and it is the Swamp Cave, south side. Vertical sandwich. Yeah, I think you mentioned, so flame sword, magic armor to go with that large shield. And that is some really good gear for this early stage. We're only 16 minutes in, and we're ready to take on some bigger monsters. Now, it's a little bit tough because they don't have any healing, and, you know, so you might end up with 1 big monster, and then you have to find a refill, but we're through to the other side. This is where you're going to have to turn in for the rainbow drop at the end. And ScarletShadoww is also printing money, so I'm very impressed that they have both managed to make these plays. These are not obvious plays to make, but with the, you know, how the beginning of the seed went.
Already found both of our traded caves, so good information for later. We won't have to spend an hour wandering around looking for those later.
Yeah, and those, you know, relatively close to start. You just have to pop through the swamp cave, and they're right there. So that's sometimes you don't have to like remember way out on the map somewhere. You can just kind of return home and then do your trade-ins. So pretty convenient. The last of the 3 end game locations we're going to need is Charlotte Castle. Still need to find that. And with that, we have the experience lead shifting once again to Vertical Sandwich without all that gear, and able to accumulate experience much more quickly. So ScarletShadoww was just a few points away from level 7. Level 7 didn't actually yield very much. I guess we got the sleep spell, which is useful, I guess, in, you know, certain battles, like the Stone Man, for example.
Perfect timing. And puts the Stone Man to sleep and able to run away.
Alright, we have a chance to check out another town. Probably the next most useful town at this point would be Cole. There's a free search spot there. I think we're probably still too weak to deal with Hawksness. And Rimbledar, of course, we already have keys, although I don't know if they actually both have a full set of keys yet, or if they still only have
They both do.
They probably do, because the third shop, right? So you grind all this gold, and then you go into the third shop and get your keys. So
Both of them, that third chest in the grave is the key, and they both had the glitch active and got max keys.
Oh, that's excellent. Yep. Even better.
I was afraid Vertical Sandwich was going to get sent home, but thankfully able to take down that wyvern for a nice 64 experience points.
ScarletShadoww's got 34,000, and he is fighting these red slimes.
I swear.
I don't know if they're capable of dodging, but if they ever dodged and hit him with the DL2, it
Ooh.
would be just a disaster. Because he has no idea how dangerous those are.
I swear I saw Silver Shield in that bottom shop, but it could just be seed creep. Who knows?
Oh, it is coal, or at least we do have coal somewhere. I don't know if it was the one we saw before, but Spot ends up just being the fairy flute, so not exactly the most useful item to pick up off a search spot. But that's one more check that we can check the box and to move on. We got that Stones of Sunlight early, but we still need 2 more quest items, and we need 2 more pieces of Verdrick's gear. Plenty of exploration left to do, and Sandwich is all geared up and ready to do it.
Yep, we got Flame Sword and Magic Armor for ScarletShadoww. We'll see what shield he picks up. We do have
what's interesting, Centroid, with all this running around, I don't remember if Vertical Sandwich remembered to go check the coordinates.
He did not.
So that's an interesting oversight. I think, with a stack of herbs, you can easily get to the old man. You want to spend the money first, but then once you're done gearing up and spending the money, you could buy a stack of herbs and just go take a death after visiting the old man for some coordinates. But and I think we're going to see ScarletShadoww do exactly that, and just exited, re-entered, and is visiting the herb shop. I think these herbs are going to go towards getting the coordinates here, so could be an interesting bit of exploration divergence there. And we do have the big C, so now Vertical Sandwich knows where all 3 of the things are for the end, to get the end game done, to go and make the final assault. And the Droll Magi is not messing around. He was standing right next to a town, wasn't he? Is that
was Hawksness.
He popped in there? Okay.
He didn't even take us 1 step in there, which I don't blame him at this point. There's nothing you can
no healing. Right. No healing, no hurt more. Pretty tough to take on a big monster right now, even with the Flame Sword.
We'll grab some coordinates here.
Alright, I'll let you put your tracking hat on, and we'll fill that in. It's 6 north, 52 to the east. So, let's see here. From the starting castle, does it just open up to the east, or is that going to be a problem? I can't remember now.
I don't think the runners have shown us much past...
See, right here, Vertical Sandwich is near start, and there's all this water. There is 1 bridge here, but I'm not really sure you can go 52 to the east. Yeah, I think you're going through Swamp Cave.
Saw the 6 north and got way too excited, and then the seed said no, 52.
No. Yep. Actually, on Sandwich's pathing here, it is actually going further east. I think that's Swamp Cave to the south, but he just... he went through and didn't continue.
Scarlet is counting this, it looks like. So we'll see if he runs out of real estate or if there's enough room for him to find the coordinates.
Yeah, and it's interesting. Scarlet doesn't know, of course, that Cole had the flute, so there's actually a pretty good chance that this count is going to lead to something really useful here. There's, 2 quest items remaining. There's the necklace, but then there's also 2 pieces of Verdrick's gear, which would probably be the most useful here in the early game.
Ooh, level 8 brings hurt more for Vertical Sandwich.
Alright, not too bad. MP is a little bit low to be blasting away at everything right now, but you might as well use it because we still don't have a healing spell. So they're going to have to make use of some herbs, hopping from herb shop to herb shop. And yeah, he's going to just immediately hurt more a Druid Lord here. So, not even messing around with trying to 2-shot or 3-shot with the Flame Sword. Even though they have the Flame Sword, the strength score is actually pretty low still, so for some of the larger monsters, you're going to want to utilize hurt more for a while here.
Yeah, that Flame Sword over the Hand Axe was only like a 15. It was plus 15, which is nice, but it's not really going to help you versus the Sharluck enemies this early in the game. That death from ScarletShadoww was quite unfortunate because he had counted out probably about 30 Pace is to the east, so that's kind of lost time there. But, there was just a high encounter rate in that swamp.
It does look like it potentially can go that far to the east, though. It'd be interesting if he makes it all the way, because if you get the item now by counting, it's beneficial, since you probably can't beat a guardian that would be guarding the princess right now. So if you had to get the princess, you'd probably have to wait till later.
Yeah, and ScarletShadoww had actually used search a couple times, so I think he was in the area. I'm not sure. It kind of feels like he's not far enough east. This is about where he was searching earlier, right by this bridge. It doesn't feel like 50 east, but it could be.
Yeah, it feels like it could be a little bit further east to me, but he believes it's in this swamp somewhere. And now we're starting to do some area searches. You do have to kind of zigzag north and then back south to get here, so maybe it's just off like a little bit in one direction. Alright, there it was. It was the silver harp, so doesn't turn out to be immediately super useful. But if he does make his way to the second continent in the near future, he'll be able to get that turned in on the first trip. The first time he finds that cave. Vertical Sandwich is going to have to make another trip over there for that, but not a big deal because the Rainbow Drop Cave's over there anyways, so in this case the routing doesn't matter a whole lot. We do have Mountain Cave for Vertical Sandwich, and I missed what was the first chest, but...
The Fairy Water. But
okay,
yeah, like you said, he doesn't have to sink any time into making a princess rescue either, which isn't huge time waste, but I mean it's 30 seconds to a minute, so hey, every second you can save helps out in the long run.
Yeah, I agree. And we have gold and I think another herb here. I think Sandwich decided to go north first, which is interesting. Gets to this just fourth. That's only the wing, so far not much happening in the mountain cave here. And ScarletShadoww gets the bad news about the Joel Magi. We saw this on Vertical Sandwich's screen a few minutes ago, so things have evened up from that perspective. Just a key rebate here for Sandwich. There are some metal slimes in this cave. I can't think of any reason why he would want a death warp out of here, but he doesn't have outside, so he's just trying to walk out. And getting a little low on MP anyways, but it's gonna probably see how far he can get. Uses 5 MP on Hurtmore and Axe Knight. That's another chunk of experience. So the lead has been growing since Hurtmore, and ScarletShadoww is still about 49 points away from that Hurtmore level on that side. So the longer one runner goes with Hurtmore and the other without, the lead just tends to expand here.
Wow, a 14-0, 16-26, something like that. Giant level 9 for Vertical Sandwich. You get another crit on a metal slime.
So if he can make it to an inn, he'll have like double the MP that he started this trip with, and he won't be so tight on resources anymore.
Yeah, just 2 levels between the 2 runners and 36 MP. Big gap there.
Scarlet looks like I think this is the first trip into Swamp Cave. We saw Vertical Sandwich over on the other side quite a bit already. I think Sandwich has quite an exploration lead now to go along with the experience lead. That sequence of getting the gear quite a bit earlier really helped in multiple ways.
Yeah, I'm keeping track of the locations that each runner found, and there's 5 locations on the other side of this swamp cave that Vertical Sandwich is seeing that Scarlet is not. There's also I think the Mountain Cave is on the first continent, if I'm not mistaken. But either way, yeah, Vertical Sandwich is like +6 in finding locations for now.
Yes. That sounds about right. Has really covered a lot of map. Finally, we have Hurtmore for ScarletShadoww. I want to say that was maybe 6 or 7 minutes behind when Sandwich got it. So that has resulted in about a 600-point experience lead here. And as we said, Sandwich is a bit ahead in terms of finding areas on the map as well. So here we go. ScarletShadoww checking the boxes with the various trading caves we're going to find over here. And running around on very low HP because still no healing spell. trying to get to this town, but of course we know it's Hawk's Nest. There's no inn here.
Maybe if he had more HP, well, he might have tried that grind spot, but he also is. I don't know. I'm sure a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on that.
Somehow Sandwich is making this look easy without still no healing spell on level 9, but I don't see him walking around in the red a lot. You get some minor heal walking with that magic armor, we can't forget that, but it just never seems to be down, in the danger zones. I think it's probably because he's had hurt more for a while and just is one-shotting enemies.
Yeah, we could see this exploration lead even up, especially because Vertical Sandwich has not done his overworld hunt yet, which we'll see if he counts it or if he decides to do a princess rescue.
I'm actually wondering, because that seems like it just totally slipped his mind. Like, he visited Cantland and just never got the coordinates, and I actually have had that happen before, where it's just something you totally forget that you haven't done. Like, if you don't have a method of writing down your coordinates or like whatever it is, you might just think that you've checked that spot or something, because it's like, yeah, I've been to Cantland, but you've been to Cantland, but you forgot to check for the coordinates. Or maybe you think there are no coordinates. Like, a lot of things could happen if you leave that for too long after you've already visited the town. Like, he even had keys already when he visited. So it's a very interesting little situation developing for Sandwich, because that is a required hunt that does lead to the harp.
Yeah, I kind of understand his thought process. Maybe just leave it for later because of the time investment involved and stuff like that. But like you said, yeah, it's the earlier you can get it done, the better.
Well, yeah, and he doesn't even know if there's a lot of time involved because he doesn't know what the coordinates are yet, I don't think he went to the old man to even check to see what they were.
It's true, he did not.
Yeah, so...
And as you were alluding to earlier, ScarletShadoww did get to basically drop off, collect the Staff of Rain on his first trip over here, so he doesn't have to go all the way back to the northern cave to turn in the harp.
And does manage to get to Cole without taking a death warp, was walking around on some low resources, and is going to get the fairy flute for his troubles. So, yeah, so that is 2 of the 3 search spots in the books for ScarletShadoww, and also knows where Hawksness is, but of course our runners have not tried the Hawksness Guardian yet for that 3rd and final spot. We've seen multiple cursed belts, but I don't think we've seen all 3 necessarily, so we don't know for sure if there is actually something in Hawksness yet. But we have Grave now for Sandwich, so more chests getting ready to be opened.
Yeah, you're correct. We've only seen 2 belts. Both of them were incantational. There's still plenty of stuff to open, so there could be a 3rd one out there, but we'll see.
Is another thing that can be forgotten about is, they both went and got the top 3, which led to the grind, but, they both got out of there, and so there are 2 chests further down that they didn't get the first time around. Sandwich, after that death warp, realizes, well, that's what was right there in the basement. Let me go back and clear that out. So now just heading to the 2 basement checks that were left unopened earlier. Get those out of the way. If, Erdrick's sword or Erdrick's armor is down here, that could be a big deal.
Absolutely, yeah. And he's done a bunch of exploration and then kind of, has gone to what? There's the armor for him, the number 4 chest in the grave.
Yeah, and that in this kind of a situation, that can always be huge in a race where you can envision scenarios where ScarletShadoww just never goes back there, to the point of even going into Sharlock and looking for it down there first before even diving grave. Some people just really don't like going back to the grave to dive after they've already gotten top 3. So we'll see if that happens to ScarletShadoww, or if at some point he goes back and gets the armor later on. And actually, now that he has more resources and got a refill or a death warp or something, is going to go check out the Guardian in Hawksnest. So of course we have Hurtmore now, so there's plenty of ways that we can be victorious over here. The Guardian is one of the strong monsters in the game, but it could include green dragons, armored knights, axe knights, things that are susceptible to Hurtmore attacks. And just dancing around here for a moment and charging in 1 step away.
I thought he was maybe trying to pick up level 9 right before hitting the tile.
Oh, that's a good thought. We know that it yields mostly MP, but, well, depending on what the Guardian is, there's a little bit of a power boost there as well, but no healing spells. So,
Well, we
let's
see
see.
heal more on Vertical Sandwich's side at level 10.
Ooh, well, we do have the flute here, but we don't have a healing spell. So if it was me, if I was going to go for this, I would actually run from this battle now, reset it, use a couple of herbs, and then go back in and try this again with flute strats. He's only doing like 11 damage because the strength score is so low, even with the flame sword. So it's going to take like 12 hits to kill this golem, but if it stays asleep, wow, this is incredible sleep luck.
Yeah,
He's stayed asleep for 6 or 7 turns already. Problem is, he wakes up and punches pretty hard. This would be incredible if he was able to get this victory with no healing. And again, just to me, like, just thinking of running away and resetting, he didn't end up doing that, and I think it would have been really helpful, because he could have walked into the fight with 82 hit points instead of, for more or less, he started the fight with only 51 because he got preemptively attacked.
Well, that hurt spell on the golem that's a gift, I suppose, because golem. The one hit we saw was for 23.
A little worried it might also have a healing spell. We'll have to see if that happens.
That's possible. We haven't seen it yet. Yeah, we've seen a 24 and a 36 from the golem. So who knows? The golem could still hit us for 48 for all we know. We could get caught with low HP.
Right now. This is like he's hit this golem probably 12 times now. This is just a huge battle.
This is like almost vanilla.
That is incredible that he just managed to do that, and it's only Erdrick's token, unfortunately, but hey, he's got all 3 quest items, and he knows where the Rainbow Drop Cave is. He could be running around in Charlotte Castle in 2 minutes if he really felt like it.
Yeah, hopefully not, because we know where the armor is. It's in the 4th chest in the grave.
Yeah, ScarletShadoww has tons of other checks to do, but the fact that he's got all the quest items now, that can be pretty useful. Vertical Sandwich picked up Heal More somewhere along the way here, so he's having an easier time with the larger monsters now for sure.
Well, we just got level 10 for ScarletShadoww, so they both have Heal More now. That's a nice thing about this 3.0 version of the randomizer, is that golems give 350 experience points now. Same with the what do you call it? The red dragons.
Yeah, that is it definitely changes some of the decision making, and it was very much a good reward for that huge fight. That took like probably 2 full minutes for Shadow to get that done there, and very good job of using the herbs in between to beat that enemy with no healing was impressive. I guess they also got heal along with the heal more, so they're good to go now.
Level 11 for Vertical Sandwich, some modest stat gains and no spells, but right now I think we're looking decent enough to where we can just kind of cruise around and do a lot of exploration and hopefully grind as we go.
Yep, I was just gonna say, like Scarlet makes it back to an N on these meager resources, and now is just all set. We have MP, the HP is up in the 90s, so no matter what you find now, with heal more strats, you can take them on anything. Even a red dragon at this point, as long as it doesn't have the sleep spell, for example. We still don't have stop spell, but yeah, basically any like regular monster out there now we can deal with. So it's a matter now of how fast can you cover the rest of the map. We don't have repelling. We haven't really noticed anyone going out of the way for fairy water or anything, but you want to get the rest of this map done as quickly as possible, one way or the other.
Yeah, I'm interested to see what Vertical Sandwich is trying to do in Caitlin. I know we have not seen him check the coordinates yet, which needs to happen. Fairy water would really help.
Oh, Rainbow Drop already here for ScarletShadoww happens to be in the area. Picks up the Rainbow Drop. So access to Charlotte Castle right away. Of course, probably going to get other things done first. But Vertical Sandwich has the armor, so it doesn't even take damage en route to the old man here. It gets the 6/52. And that's probably the next thing on his agenda, because he's opened most of the chests now, having fully cleared both dungeons. We've already seen the treasury, and have they been into Garenham? Let me see here. How many chests are left?
We're missing Garenham. We're missing the one chest in Remolder. We're missing the Freebie Cave and Erdrick's Tablet Cave.
Okay, very good.
I think that's
five. Yeah, ScarletShadoww has done all 3 search spots, having defeated the Golem and Hawksness. They both got the flute out of Cole, and Vertical Sandwich is going to even things up over here by getting the overworld item, which leads to the harp in this case.
Yeah, Scarlet's doing a mini grind on these Axe Knights, so maybe these two could just have converging paths now. We saw a little divergence maybe 20 minutes ago, but they look like they're about even now with exploration and
this is so interesting because neither one had checked this spike tile yet, because they both chose to count out the coordinates instead of potentially going for a princess rescue. So Sandwich has no idea that this Axe Knight is here, I don't think.
Yeah, this grind
is going to catch Scarlet up very quickly, and the main thing for Scarlet going forward is if he ever decides to go back and dive the grave after already getting top 3 earlier on. If he decides to get everything else done first, he just won't have the armor that entire time.
Yeah, this grind is highly preferable to the Golem, I think. The Golem gives a lot of EXP, but this fight's over in one turn if it cooperates with you.
Yep, you can see just by how quickly that 1,000-point deficit was caught up. Basically, we're even now, and ScarletShadoww with this victory is going to retake the experience lead, assuming we get the one shot here, which is not a guarantee, but it happens most of the time. There we go. So experience lead flip-flopping again. ScarletShadoww back in the lead. I think still a bit behind in terms of exploration, although is the one with the rainbow drop. So I guess things are evening out a little bit here.
Yeah, the only imbalances we have is that ScarletShadoww has turned in the harp and got his token. His drop, but Vertical Sandwich has found the armor. That's
it was all the second continent stuff.
Yep.
Vertical Sandwich hasn't taken on the Golem yet. That's the difference. So the token is there, right? Unless I'm mixing something up.
Oh yeah, that's true.
All the trading caves are just like right next to where Hawksness was. So that's basically what Sandwich has to go over there and defeat the Golem, and Scarlet has to just remember to dive the grave, and then basically they're even.
Yeah, I'm not sure I don't know if we saw the entire second continent because I haven't been watching that closely, but.
I think we did. It just seemed like it was a big oval shaped, like they just went in a circle and kind of loops back around. What I'm having trouble keeping track of is the first continent, because like you said, there are still those extra caves, the Freebie Cave, the Tablet Cave. I mean, these things can be just way out there on the map somewhere. And we're probably like running out of inns. I guess Garenham is out there somewhere to save them. Maybe one more time, taken in somewhere en route to some really far away caves. But
there's a third cursed belt in Remolder, so
yeah, we're in another one of those tricky spots too, where someone might get lucky and just find the sword, like in one of those caves, and then not have to go find the other things.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
It doesn't happen often, but sometimes you can leave 2 or 3 locations on the map just unexplored because you just don't need to find them. So, if one runner finds those things in the right order, they could get a much bigger advantage. If someone goes the opposite way and finds things in the reverse order, they end up full clearing the map and last location, for the sword or whatever. So exploration luck could still play a role here.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, we'll see. Like you said, I think, not having the armor might help ScarletShadoww, or hurt him. I'm not sure. Yeah, he might keep searching for it. Whereas Vertical Sandwich could, find the sword and be done.
Yeah, I have this suspicion that Shadow is going to leave the grave for dead last. It's just something a lot of runners do after finding it early, getting top 3, and you just don't want to go back in there if you don't have to. And plus the fact that they're so invincible now that I don't see like a death warp coming anytime soon, and the grave is at the basement of Tantagel, and they just probably won't be back there anytime.
Yeah, I guess the one thing that would point ScarletShadoww in that direction is that it is the information that's right in front of us. You know, it's we don't know where the other 1, 2, 3 locations are. Well, 2 locations we only need. Cause I'm guessing that either the freebie cave or the tablet cave has to be in the basement of Garenham. So we're only looking for 2 spots, but we don't know where they are. We do know where the grave is. So if you get impatient, or you maybe think, you know, if you get, I don't know, if things just aren't working out with your exploration, you can always go check the grave if you need something to do.
Yeah, I agree. And it's funny us like having full knowledge. Like it's easy for us to say, but it's it's a weird situation where I feel like ScarletShadoww almost might semi forget about doing the grave anytime soon. And I really think Sandwich may be basically forgetting that he hasn't actually cleared Hawksness, because you have the heal more and the hurt more. There's no guardian there that you can't defeat, and instead he's like looking around for these one-off. Like there's only 1 chest in the freebie cave, 1 chest in the tablet cave, whereas the search spots are almost always populated. Speaking of which, he does find the freebie cave here, and it's not the sword. So Death Necklace can still be out there, by the way, so from his perspective, like, Hawksness could end up leading to the Death Necklace, but you have to go make that check. I know it's out of the way for him, though, because you have to go back through over the second continent to get to Hawksness, so maybe he's thinking, like, on the next Death Warp or something, but he's probably just not going to die again. Although he is down to 2 MP, so we'll see, but... defense breaking this wizard, by the way, so not taking hardly any damage. The defense is really good, even only with the large shield, because they have really good agility. Agility's in the green.
Sorry, I forgot about Brecconary, but I mean, like, it's Brecconary, you know? I got excited because
it's a town! No.
I'm trying to use the same notation for keeping track of stuff that I do when I'm racing, so... like I use like 1 mark that I found a place and another mark to show that I complete. Oh, there's Garenham. Yeah,
wow, there we go. And this is like really far, all the way across the world. You see it. We're at the east edge of the map, so pretty far away. But there are a lot of checks here. 3 chests plus the cave. Probably does it have to be tablet cave at this point? So
it has to be. Yes.
We're gonna have 4 chests here.
The bad news is if the sword's not here. Vertical Sandwich has not found Remolder, so... Okay, there it is. No, he's not going to go on a goose chase.
Big deal, but he still doesn't have the token, so he still has to dive through the tablet here, unfortunately for him. And so he does have Outside, that was picked up recently, so that cuts this trip in half. But we're still going to go down here for... The best he can hope for here is the Death Necklace. And then at that point... Like you said, maybe is going to wander around looking for Remolder before actually going back to Hawksness. Maybe doesn't it, like, again, sometimes you don't even realize that you haven't actually cleared Hawksness. Found it, but it's not cleared yet.
Yeah, so Vertical Sandwich has found everything besides Remolder. ScarletShadoww just needs to find these 2 locations that Vertical Sandwich just visited, so yeah, just needs to find Garenham in the free cave.
Turns out the golem has heal more.
Ouch.
And somehow, I guess he didn't see that during that long fight, because we didn't even have stop spell at that time, I'm pretty sure. So that makes that token pickup even more impressive.
Yeah, I'm gonna bring up the stats now that we've seen both spells from it's just 50% on both. Yeah,
that probably took 3 or 4 hits to get over the heal more range. Like, you know
Absolutely.
What I mean?
Yeah.
So if the golem, let's say it spawned with like 140 hit points, there's 35 hit points of a range there where it could cast heal more at any time, because he's chipping it away at like 10 or 11 damage each. Yeah, so somehow just never got hit with that and took it down that first time, and now is kind of going after them with stop spell strats, taking them down for 350 at a time. The strength score finally came around, so he's got triple-digit attack power now. So it's only like 4 or 5 hits for a golem now. It's much more reasonable. And speaking quickly of the other stats, we have triple-digit HP, so that's Dragon Lord eligible, as indicated by the green number. The green defense power there, compliments of the Silver Shield, means that you won't take more than 48 damage from any Dragon Lord attack. And also, we are defense breaking a bunch of Sharlock monsters with 88 defense, so that's helpful. MP is a little bit low, so we're not Dragon Lord eligible yet. 70 strength is a little low. So, a little ways to go, but we're, probably not in for a super long grind tonight.
Wondering if Vertical Sandwich is going to start yeah, he's going to start grinding now.
Yeah, I think that he's realizing that he has to go back to Hawksness, and Hawksness is on the other side here, and so just while we're passing through, maybe just stop, check what the spike is. I think that was the first time he saw the spike.
This is, yeah.
Doesn't need the princess because already got that item, but he's just, good information for later. And he's out of here and heading to Hawksness before he burns too much MP because he doesn't know what the Guardian is here yet.
Yeah, that was really smooth. I like that play. Closing in on, we should be getting level 13 here for ScarletShadoww.
Yeah, about a 500-point experience lead now for Shadow, and mostly just HP. We picked up Repel, which is useful if you have more map to explore, which I think Scarlet does still have a few things to find. A little bit behind on exploration. Vertical Sandwich is basically done with the map. I guess maybe hasn't seen Rimuldar, but that's it.
I think ScarletShadoww might be getting close. I think he's in the vicinity. Oh, no, I'm sorry. I'm looking at the wrong. It was a desert where we found the other stuff.
No, but this definitely isn't the one, though. So, uses the wings. He's almost out of resources anyways. Yeah, it was way over at the east edge of the map, but it was a different place. So, it's going to be a while before ScarletShadoww gets the sword out of Garanham, which is on the east edge of the map. And Sandwich, I think, just acquired the token, so we are officially in grind and go, and only a few hundred points behind. So Vertical Sandwich should make up this gap very quickly on this Axe Knight, and he's just ready for endgame now. The Rainbow Drop can be acquired just en route to the Swamp Spike here, and it's go time.
And he picks up another Metal Slime. I think that's his third one this seed.
Yeah, sometimes it can be a little deceiving, like ScarletShadoww did stop and grind that Axe Knight for maybe a level and a half or something, so all of a sudden it seemed like, if you're just at first glance, like tuning into the race 45 minutes in, oh, ScarletShadoww's in the lead because he had taken the experience lead. But exploration leads are a big deal in this game. You can't fall too far behind with how long it takes to round up all the stuff, because your opponent's just going to be grinding while you're still looking for that one last thing. And ScarletShadoww needs two things because he never dove the grave. And so, again, coming back to that, might end up full clearing everything, including trying to track down Rimuldar, which we still don't even know where that is, before diving the grave. So, just way behind.
ScarletShadoww did find Rimuldar. VerticalShadoww never found it, and he will not have to.
Oh, that's right. Okay, yeah. Got you.
Yeah, thankfully, yeah, that would be another wild goose chase for him.
Yep. So what was in the Rimuldar chest?
It was just a torch, I think.
Yeah.
The
Scarlet just has to get over to Garanham, and hopefully we'll be done with the map at that point, and we'll remember, hey, maybe I should dive the grave. Hopefully remembers that, instead of like, hey, maybe I should dive Sharlock looking for the armor.
Yeah, he'll only have one chest to get, so that won't take too long, honestly. Like, diving the full grave kind of sucks. Just getting that fourth chest and getting out, it's not nearly as bad.
Yeah, the question is whether he'll choose to do that or to dive into Sharlock looking for it. And Sandwich is doing the trade-ins now. They're both over here near Hawksness on the second continent. It took about a couple minutes longer than I would have expected. I think he was just running into tons of monsters. Here is the drop, and now the like 4 tiles away is the Swamp Cave, and it's just going to go right to that spike tile. Or we're going to go check out Sharlock or something. I don't know why you wouldn't just go to the Axe Knight here, but into Sharlock we go. Okay.
Free cave is either an herb or a key.
Alright, Alright, so just dropping off the rainbow drop. I've been told that actually does clear an inventory space when you do that. Although I think back in the old days it used to not do that, so...
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not familiar with the mechanic currently.
So if somehow you really wanted to pick up one more fairy water in a shop or something, you can put the bridge down and... I don't know. I guess if he opens up his inventory, we'll see if the rainbow drop's still sitting there. But now actually choosing to go with a golem grind instead of the Axe Knight grind, I'm very suspicious of this decision. Alright, the only good thing, if the golem likes to really spam hurt or whatever, you can maybe make a case for the fact that you're not actually going through a lot of MP. Like where you're hurt mooring, the Axe Knight and you just run out of MP and then you have to get a refill somewhere,
Yeah.
But the Axe Knight is so fast. Like I don't know. This is a surprising decision.
It feels so much more efficient too. And like I think I like that mental edge when you're grinding and it's just boom, 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 boom. Like these longer fights really wear on you. And I think what happens is if you get into a lull, you can I don't know.
You know what? I think he didn't know about the heal more. Now he just saw it, and I wonder if now it's time to switch. Like, if it only had hurt, I guess it would be a better situation. That's probably what... I don't think he ever saw the heal more yet, so... He'll probably go for this one, and then I just want, like... Well, maybe just gonna go with stop spell strats and just keep going this way. I don't know. Interesting.
I guess you would. What's two Axe Knights is?
Yeah, I would be on the Axe Knight. I think I'm trying to think. Over here on the second continent, isn't there coal as well? Like, it's not too hard to get to an inn. So I mean, I would just be on the spike tile in the swamp cave, cast outside. Take a few steps, get the refill, just come right back in. And the only difference, like, if he's really not using MP here, like if he. I don't know why. I mean, he's gonna have to heal here. I don't know. That's the only difference. Sometimes, like, a grind seems like it's slower, but you're taking way less death warps and in trips, and so all that time walking back and forth to the end, you do have to factor that in. But still, I don't know. It's just feels slow.
Somebody should test this.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, it would be useful.
Do some research.
I'd be happy to play this seed later, for research, for science.
This golem will yield level 14. There are scenarios where this could be go time. We'd need quite a lot of strength and MP. So let's see here. 5 strength.
It's not going to do it.
A lot of MP. It's probably still not there, but that was a tricky level up there. So we are in triple-digit MP territory. Not quite enough to be able to use a death necklace, which we don't have yet, by the way. And in his case, there was one check on the overworld that he didn't get to see, so you can't 100% assume that it's in Sherlock, but you could probably gamble on it.
Yeah, and even if it is, what if it's on the judge's table and you're on the way to the Dragon Lord and you're like, well, I'm not getting it now.
So I'm just thinking because, with 76 strength, like if for some reason you could use the death necklace right now, I think you could win right now. But it would be super borderline. But right now, because it's only 122 hit points, my note says that goes down to 92, and that's just not good enough to fight the Dragon Lord. So we do need one more level, but it easily could be the next level because all of a sudden you're going to be able to use the necklace.
I wonder how many
fairy waters. He might actually be worried about that, and maybe he's going to look for Rimildar. Or no, this is just an in-trip.
How many fairy waters can they fit in their inventory? I'm wondering if that would... We'll get them close.
See, right now you can't use the necklace, so I feel like you're probably too far away right at this moment. But if you could, with fairy water strats, that's why I was saying, like, you could probably win right now. But I fully expect 15 to be go time, though. To the point where, like, in case he has the silver shield, and I would consider a diving grind, because you're going to be breaking a lot of Sherlock monsters. If Sandwich still only has the large shield, which we're showing there, then...
that could end up
less good to be diving grinding.
That could end up being a big Could end up being a difference in the end, depending on how nice or bad Charlock is.
Yeah, so instead of going in for the dive and grind, he's just going back to a spike tile to make sure he gets 15 and then takes an in afterwards. So, not too bad.
Yeah,
it's only like 5 golems to get to 7,500 from here. Like,
yeah,
maybe
it'll be
even
pretty
4.
fast.
It's like, what is it? Yeah, it's 4 golem victories. It's crazy that when they're worth 350, it's just so much.
Yeah, don't forget the new gold man is what 650 gold too, which is amazing. I love doing quick gold man grinds now.
Yep, absolutely. A lot, yeah, very interesting tweaks to the latest version here. So I totally missed ScarletShadoww actually acquiring this sword. I'm super impressed with your ability to track at the same time as commenting here. I'm missing like most of their pickups, but so now we have the side-by-side grind, and Scarlet just doesn't have the armor, just never drove the grave, and I'm like, at this point, fully expecting Scarlet to be looking for it in Charlock, unfortunately. Just by the way that he's just grinding right now, like not even worried about it, just probably just banking on it being in Charlock.
Well, I think the only spot ScarletShadoww is not searched, is the grave. So he's cleared every single thing else.
It's actually somehow has made up a lot of the gap on the experience as well. Like, I thought this was going to get out of control when Vertical Sandwich was in grind and go earlier when he got the sword, but it actually didn't take that many more minutes for Scarlet to also get the sword and just get right back onto a grind. So flip-flopping around between 500 and 800 points behind depending on where we are in the golem cycle here.
Yeah, and they're both using the stop strats, so I think it's like they have identical grinds right now. It's not like one person is stop spelling and one person is risking it.
Yeah. So it's like 2 to 3 golem victories difference, which each one seems to be taking like 45 seconds. So if ScarletShadoww had the armor, this would be like less than a 2-minute lead. And yeah, that's like diving at the same time.
Yeah, he might actually be getting a couple less golems per cycle just because not having the armor, but I don't think it's going to be that big of a deal, but that armor is going to cost him another couple minutes.
Problem is, I think it's going to cost a lot more than that. I really think he's going to end up looking for it in Charlock. And so even like, let's say Vertical Sandwich somehow takes like a Dragon Lord death, which usually like, that's what you need to overcome like a small lead, That's like a 7-minute time loss when you lose to the Dragon Lord. But it may not even be enough in this case because Scarlet's going to go in without the armor and it's just not going to be there.
There is a death from Vertical Sandwich at 56 MP, so that is, without using all of his resources, that is a chance for ScarletShadoww to catch up.
That is very interesting. I missed exactly what happened there, but the golem hits very hard, and it also has obscenely high HP. It's actually fairly easy to make a grinding mistake when you're grinding the golem. Go in either of those directions, like assuming that he can't hit you for 40, but he really can. Or just like, oh, this next swing surely has to be enough to get him, and it's not because he rolled super high HP.
The one thing I just realized is that he's very close to 7,500, so I don't know, maybe he was like, I'm good, and decided to leave, but I guess we'll just see what happens when he hits 15.
Yeah, I mean, looking like he's just walking through, which, en route to Charlock, but is just going to get I thought he was not even going to bother with this and just kind of go towards the refill town on the other side, but he's just going to get the quick Axe Knight victory here. And like I said, I think it's almost always going to be enough because you're usually going to get a few HP here, and that's going to put you into Death Necklace, but let's see what we get. And yeah, there's the Death Necklace HP. So with that, I think you are good to go. It's not like a slam dunk because we didn't get any more MP. And so we're looking at 131 with the necklace. So the charts will say that this is kind of like really borderline. But I think if there was some way to pick up a bunch of fairy water, it would help you a little bit. Not as much as you would think, because 131 is a 7 to 15 range. Fairy water's 9 to 16, so it might save you a swing. And this is actually a very borderline situation. Let's see if he goes for it here.
that
both have the ring, so there's not like any way to like search for the ring in Sherlock. They do still have to actually find the death necklace if they're going to go for it on 15.
Yeah, so I mean, Vertical Sandwich has not seen Remolder, so I don't know if that's if that's on his mind right now. He could just be. No, I know some people will say, "Oh, well, I have 141 HP, which means I will be getting doubles." I'm honestly not that good at factoring in how many doubles I'm gonna get. Somebody else might be a little bit better at counting that.
Yeah, I mean, like right now, if you went and fought the Dragon Lord, you would get a lot of doubles with 141, but that means leaving your attack power at 121, which is really terrible. Like you almost can never win with 121 because now you're talking about 5 to 10 damage.
True, yeah.
I just don't see that being as good as using the necklace in this case. And with the necklace, you're looking at 131, but then you have almost no doubles because you're down to whatever that converts to, probably like 105 hit points or something. So then it's just really close because like my chart says you would prefer to have 104 hit points or magic points with 131 attack power. So in this case he has one less heal more than that, so it's like really borderline. Seems to be just totally going for it though, not taking any fights, just running from battles. So yeah, this is going to be a really exciting finish here. This is definitely a chance for ScarletShadoww to catch up. You always, like, if you're behind, you want the borderline level because that means that your opponent could die to the Dragon Lord, and that's a huge time loss.
I think this is our first look at Armored Knights as well, and it's so far, I think we've maybe seen 2 or 3 attacks.
ScarletShadoww, by the way, going ahead and getting the fairy water fill-ups, sees the level 15, does the calculations, knows it's super borderline, and is going through the trouble to go buy the fairy waters in Cantlin. Whereas Sandwich, I think, did his final in stop over in Cole, which does not have a fairy water shop.
Yeah, and even if he picks up a ton of strength, those fairy waters will help him repel something. I don't know if he's going to pick up level 16 or not, but he might think that he needs it.
Yeah, and in Scarlet's shoes, like we said earlier, if he wanted to do a diving grind for 16, he's in much better shape because we're breaking green dragons with that silver shield. Vertical Sandwich is only breaking wizards right now. Yeah, this is exactly what I thought was going to happen to ScarletShadoww. Just is banking on the fact that the armor's not in the grave, and of course it is. So what Scarlet needs to happen is he needs to get to that treasury really quickly, discover that it's not there, and at the same time he needs his opponent to die to the Dragon Lord. And then it could be actually like really close if all that happens. Sandwich has made quite a good dive though, despite the fact I think we saw Armored Knights in at least one of the zones. Don't think we saw Red Dragons, but the agility is quite high. Sandwich is going to look for the treasury, so chat out there could be playing a game, try and guess which chest it's in here, but could also be upstairs. And Sandwich is holding his breath because there is that one check in Rimuldar that he didn't get to, so he's like, uh-oh, I hope it's down here somewhere.
I always like to pick 300 chest because that's the farthest one from the door. And there it is. Anyone who guesses 200 was right.
Yeah, yes, 200 in this case. Yep, middle on the left side. Picks up a couple of more gold chests, probably just fishing around for an extra herb. And decides to just move on. And now that we have the necklace, all the math is in play. He's making the very aggressive play to go for it here on 15. It's still borderline with the necklace. But a lot depends on if the mini-boss fight goes well and if the Dragon Lord first form fight goes well, like whether or not you can get the opening double. There's even about a 30% chance of being ambushed by the Dragon Lord second form. So all of that has to go right for him to have, an advantage in the final fight here. Otherwise, he'll be a little bit of an underdog.
Yeah, he has conserved all of his MP. I mean, it looks like he used 2 for Radiant, but he's still got 4 MP to burn before he's losing another. Wait, I'm sorry, 2 more.
Wow, there were red dragons in the bottom zone and just finally saw one and runs first try.
Yeah, 96 MP. He doesn't want to go under, though.
Yeah, you could spare 2 MP here for the Stone Man to put it to sleep, but it's just not even bothering to do that, which is pretty surprising. You haven't seen the Stone Man, and it has Dragonlord Breath. Why not to put it to sleep here?
Ouch.
So now it's going to cost you a few herbs if you have any. He's down to 3 herbs, so this is exactly what I was talking about. Like, the mini-boss can actually cost you some resources, and now we're down to 1 herb, where you really need to get this opening double. It's going to be pretty tricky. Not much wiggle room here. And you're going to have to use the term putting on the necklace. So if the Dragon Lord spams Hurtmore's here, he might be in a little bit of a bind with the numbers.
Yeah. And there it is. Opens the fight with a Hurtmore. So one quick check I like to make, just personal taste, is I like his max attack is 15, his heal mores is 12, so that's a range, upper limit of 180. Maybe 195 if you get a double.
Uses that last herb. He got 1 stop spell in the fight. Oh, and this is a really long fight too. That was pretty unfortunate, but he fished for 1 stop spell, but then only had 1 herb and just doesn't get it. And now if he gets ambushed, it's basically over. Does not get ambushed, so we still have a shot here. Has to roll really well. But yeah, continue what you were saying about the...
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people just look for the average swing and then compare that with the number of turns that they would have, and I don't know. I just aim for a number that's high, triple digits. That's just my really quick calcs that I like to do.
I think he's done 29 damage right now, which is just a slightly under average. He needs to be rolling above average. Had 1 fairy water, he's throwing that, and that only rolled a 10. Oh boy, I think I'm not good at counting like on the streams here, but I think we're at 39, and that's not good. 53, it's certainly possible I missed an attack. Meanwhile, Scarlet is getting close to that treasury to get the news that there's no armor down here.
He might spend some time going up to the judges table as well.
Yep. What? Alright, let's see here. 75 I have. Again, I may have missed an attack, but this is not looking great. He's got basically 7 more swings. Oh, that was a good roll. 89 now. That was nearly a max roll. Needs a few more of those. Oh, another great roll, 14. So 103 actually has a chance here now, due to 2 nearly max rolls. Another pretty good roll, 114 I have with basically 4 attacks to go. Averaging about 11 per hit.
Yeah, this is going to be close.
Ooh,
that's
minimum roll, 7. So 121 if I'm accurate, with only 3 attacks to go. He'll probably get into the low part of the range. The range is 150 to 165. Oh, I haven't, what is this, like 129 maybe?
I have not been counting, but yeah, he's out of heal mores.
137. I just, you could try a sleep here, but just goes for it. I think if I was right, he got like 145. The numbers didn't quite work, and again, a lot of it has to do with just if the Dragon Lord first form doesn't go perfectly, then you can't just assume that, I don't know, like he would have had to add much better rolls. It was a really good try. I think like you can win on this level, but it's just really close.
Yeah, unfortunately,
if he gets like 5 or 6 fairy waters, it might make a little bit of a difference.
Yeah,
so
he got some
now because they have backups to the judges table, like you said. Here goes ScarletShadoww trying to get to the last chest to confirm no armor.
Yeah, Vertical Sandwich had a lot of mid roll, not even 7s, just a lot of 8s as well. There were some 14s to balance it out, but I think there were way too many mid rolls to give him, to give him a good chance.
Has to mentally rebound here because remember. I mean, he's still basically in the lead here because ScarletShadoww still has to actually go into the grave. Like, you know, we're running around in Sherlock here, but as soon as he opens this chest, he's got to get out of here and actually dive the grave. That's going to take a couple of minutes. So that gives Vertical Sandwich another shot to have first dibs on the next fight. So here we go. Doing the right thing now, loading up on Fairy Waters. The question I had was whether or not Sandwich would actually decide to grind another level. And that would open the door for Scarlet. But I don't think he is. I think he's just going to go for it again with more Fairy Waters this time.
Okay, I was scared for a minute. ScarletShadoww had paused, and I hope maybe he wasn't completely forgetting the grave, but casts return. We'll see where he goes from here.
Yeah, when you see that pause, like, sometimes that does mean that they did completely forget. Like, maybe he was fully expecting it to be there and was like, wait a minute, I've seen everything. And
Yeah,
then, oh no, there's the grave. Like, so.
Yeah, the
It was
grave
either
is...
that or just like the feeling of disgust. Like, oh, really?
Yeah. Yeah, the grave is kind of split into 2 or even 3 zones, and it's like, you could remember, I opened chests in the grave.
This is an interesting detail. So Sandwich, like, he casts Repel from start, and then I think uses Outside to go through, but then you have to make this extra walk to take another inn in Coal, instead of maybe just, like, walking through Swamp Cave and just trying to go straight in. But probably maybe it, like, ends up about the same either way. But here we go. You're going to take a Repel from the inn, and then recover the MP and go in with 100 MP.
ScarletShadoww might not be too far behind, honestly. Maybe
no,
two,
I mean, it's
two
right here.
minutes
Just
now.
needs to walk down like one more set of stairs, and yeah, I mean, it's going to be like 2 minutes or something.
And he's taking fights, so we might see what 16 is. If it's a huge level and Vertical Sandwich has some bad RNG,
right.
We'll see.
Yeah, this race is not over. This level is so borderline that, like, look, Sandwich is like aborting. Like, what just happened there? I'm not even sure. Now is like changing his mind about maybe getting another level also, but no, seems to just be going back to Coal.
I didn't see, but yeah, it's possible he had to burn 1 or 2 heal mores and was like,
it was just a Green Dragon fight. Did the Green Dragon have some bad abilities? Maybe it has Wombo Combo and I didn't notice.
I don't know.
Wait, going to the Coal. Oh, used up his herbs and forgot to restock herbs.
Well, that is a good thought. At least he remembered.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a routing issue taking the extra, double clutch back to the town here, but yeah, better than trying to do that dive without herbs, because really everything's borderline as it is. You need these herbs.
Well, ScarletShadoww just picked up his armor and he is rushing. He might actually make it into Sherlock before Vertical Sandwich
close. Now. Like, again, imagine, like you said, if 16 is a huge gain, that might mean that, like, his Dragonlord fight would be faster. Like, he might just have, like, 5 or 6 less turns that he has to go through the Dragonlord if it's a big gain,
Yeah.
So this is very close, because he's going to get the level on the way down. He's got the stats to do that. 93 defense. He can pick off monsters in there if he leaves Repel off. And we're just getting the herbs, and Sandwich is still not even in Sherlock yet. This is so close.
ScarletShadoww can repel a lot more stuff than Vertical Sandwich, but I think we saw a fair amount of Armor Knights and Red Dragons anyway. It might not even help that much.
I mean, it's going to help a little bit. And if he's walking through Swamp Cave like I suggested, instead of going for another refill in Coal, he's going to be there in like 15 seconds. Oh, this is close.
High five on the same floor.
Oh man, this is close. Yeah, he's going to pop out here and go straight into Sherlock. And he's got 2 repels that he can use right now before dipping into the fairy water supply.
He can
be repelling tons of monsters. Or he could leave repel off and pick off the monsters he needs for the level. Oh, look at where they are. It's so close. Oh, this is such a good race now. Remember, there's potential playoff implications here. We have 2-1 versus 3-1.
Yeah.
The top 3 out of the group move on. And, oof.
Yeah, I don't think Vertical Sandwich necessarily did anything wrong. So they're probably, I hope they're doing okay. But yeah, I mean, if that happened to me, I'd certainly be feeling a little tilted myself. Like, oh, I gotta dive again, and my opponent could be finishing any minute. He doesn't know he's still ahead, but
yeah, exactly. Probably just looking over like, when am I going to be losing this now? And sometimes that can actually lead to like an error in a fight or something. You know? So you gotta stay focused. He's in the middle zones now. Is this the zone with the armored knights?
I think he's past the armored knights. The red dragons are in zones 2 and 3, though. Oh, I'm sorry. Armored knights in zone 2.
So multiple red enemies all over the map here, I guess. They do both have good agility, so, 50-50 to run each time. And, well, 2 red dragons here. The other thing to note is Vertical Sandwich is cursed with the necklace, and so is able to absorb less attacks from a red dragon because his max HP now is stuck at, 106, whereas ScarletShadoww is diving with max of 141. So he doesn't have to burn the heal more as quickly as Sandwich would have to.
Yeah, and you can get kind of creative. Like, what ScarletShadoww just did is what I like to do. Throw 1 herb, get yourself a little comfort, and then just heal walk the rest. You don't have to heal up to max every single fight. But he took that fight with Red Dragon, too, which is inching him closer to 16.
Who did that? Sorry.
ScarletShadoww picked up 350 from that Red Dragon.
He will actually, wait, the mini boss is a stone man, so it's not
stone man.
He would need 1 more encounter here.
What is it, 160?
Are they 155 for the stone man? He's like almost 300 points away, so he just needs like any old monster here to get the level. Just passing on almost everything here, but maybe if he runs into another red dragon, he would consider fighting through.
That's a good point.
Oh, Star Wyvern. Maybe the Star Wyvern has weak abilities or something. Oh, he's breaking the Star Wyvern. Yeah, so this is a good choice. Yeah, so there's like 6 damage from a Star Wyvern. So pick off the Star Wyvern en route here, and the mini boss tile will give you the level 16. And meanwhile, Sandwich is in trouble here because he's trying to hold on to every last MP. He really should use herbs here if he has any left. Now he's potentially heal walking in the desert, which is a mistake. You want to stay in those 2 grass tiles to if you're going to do some heal walking here. Yep.
Oh no, that red dragon hit him for 33 earlier.
He's wandering into the wrong tiles. You have to stay in those grass tiles here. It does make a difference. You might think because you're in Charlock, like, the traditional encounter rates don't apply, but they actually do.
Yeah, I see.
The desert tiles still give you the high encounter rate. The grass tiles give you low encounter rate. He's got to stay in these grass tiles and just keeps wandering out of them.
He could also pop a normal heal because, like that'll keep... He wouldn't lose a heal more by doing so.
Well, this is super close. Unfortunately, ScarletShadoww can't get away from this red dragon and is already down a heal more. He's down another heal more, but you have to keep going here because he is going to get another level. So that level might give you enough so that you don't need as many heal mores. You just cannot get away from this red dragon. This is incredibly unlucky.
Yeah, this is so bad.
With 87 agility, you should be a coin flip to run each and every time here. Now he's actually giving up and attacking, which at this point, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's just a really gross spot for ScarletShadoww. This is like, the whole thing is just super unfortunate. Is now at the point, I mean, you have to see what the level brings, but he's probably going to have to abort this dive now. So as Sandwich retries the Dragon Lord fight, let's see what happens on the level up here. 12 power, you might have to go for this. You might have to just keep going.
Green, all green stats.
If he only, like, didn't have to burn, like, that last heal more, you know what I mean? Like, you have to...
That is so frustrating. Like, man, just having to be able to burn 4 heal mores in one fight is the worst RNG I've ever seen. Well, I mean, I'm sure somebody's seen worse, but that's really bad.
So, I mean, he actually can still win with necklace strats here, but it's a borderline. So, it was just super unfortunate that he couldn't just hold on to 1 more heal more.
Oh, that
and I've completely lost, like, track of Vertical Sandwich here, but he has a bunch of Fairy Waters this time to throw. I don't know if they've been rolling really well, but he's basically in the same spot as before. And I think he just manufactured a miracle double attack there with 106 hit points, which is super rare. So he's in a much better situation. If I saw that right, then things are much better than last time around for Vertical Sandwich here.
I saw ScarletShadoww peek at the stats. He's probably like, do I leave or give it a shot? And the Death Necklace puts him at 143, which is 21 max. It's not great odds, but I mean, that's doable.
Yeah, and maybe he's going to try without the necklace. No, he's going to go necklace strats. Okay, so the first turn, this gives the Dragon Lord a chance to do some damage to you. But he gives a stop spell. So he's got a great chance for an opening double here on the second form. I think he's got one herb in reserve if it comes to that. And, I mean, with 143 attack power here after the necklace usage, he has a reasonable chance of actually winning. Now, on Vertical Sandwich's side, have we seen mostly single digits or double digits? And he's got a decision here on 47. He thinks he's got it with the heal more.
He can get hit for 49, unfortunately.
Yeah, I mean, he thinks he has enough, and he does get hit for 48, so
good call.
Theoretically, he would have died. And so, I mean, he was keeping count, so he thinks that the fight is going much better this time around if he was able to... if he decided to heal on 47. So let's see these last two attacks. Is it going to be enough? Here comes a fight. 7 damage is enough. Vertical Sandwich ekes out this race after things seemed like they were slipping away. He comes back in on the redive and just barely finishes this out ahead of ScarletShadoww. We'll get an official time in a few moments, but GG's for Vertical Sandwich. I suppose we could even do an interview, right? Even though we don't have any chat to interact with here, but we can certainly talk to the players if they feel like it.
Yeah, sorry. I have Control key is my push to talk, so while I'm copy pasting, you're probably hearing my mic go insane, so I don't know if you can hear my push.
I'm actually really interested to see if ScarletShadoww is going to actually manage this with 8 heal mores.
He just hit for 20, so We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, he definitely had a chance because I think he got the opening double. And 21 there is enough, actually, with a turn to spare. ScarletShadoww gets it done, just probably a minute or so behind Vertical Sandwich. What a race.
Very, very exciting.
Great job by both runners. And I don't know if you want to pop the Dragon Lord stats up there, see what sort of HP we were talking about.
Yeah, 1 second, sorry.
And we're going to see some stats roll by on Sandwich's screen if he didn't cut his game off. I'm not sure, maybe he did, but hey, it was a low HP Dragon Lord, so 152. And that's why ScarletShadoww had a turn remaining on his situation there, and Sandwich was able to finish it off with I think like 7 damage was enough. And I think he had a turn to spare as well. So
yeah, he like that. Both runners had the one case in Charlotte where they just had some of the worst RNG available. You know, Vertical Sandwich with the rounds of 7s and 8s, and ScarletShadoww having to burn 4 heal mores on one fight is just not fun. But
yeah, the first dive for Sandwich too, he didn't have as many fairy waters the first time, and like the Dragon Lord, you know, between the mini boss and the Dragon Lord's first form, he couldn't hold on to the opening double, and just didn't roll well enough to make up the difference.
You know, other than that, well played by both runners across the board.
Oh yeah,
getting our racers in here.
Oh, super good race. I mean, the sequences that they both came up with at the beginning of the race were expert. Like figuring out to like ghetto grind cursed belts and then running back and forth to the towns, and then they the way they set up the gold grind within the basement there. All right, who's up? Who do we have here?
Yeah, ScarletShadoww in chat. GG's.
Feel free to push to talk or unmute.
My speakers weren't on. Couldn't hear you. I'm here now.
Hey, all right. Welcome to both of you guys. I think Vertical Sandwich might have to in Discord. But
we do have both of them in here now,
GG's.
yes.
Let's talk to ScarletShadoww first, I guess, because you were here first. And I guess, how did you feel about the run generally? And then I guess we'll have more questions for you.
I tell you what, I was feeling really good on that first trip into Charlotte. And then when I got all the way down at the treasury and up to the judge's table and then remembered that I hadn't dived Deep Grave yet, I knew I was in a race.
Yeah, I had a bad feeling that's what happened. It was just you were in the grave so early in the seed that sometimes you just forget you didn't actually full clear it. You popped in there and you ended up with the gold grind there, so you got out. And just never went back there. And at a certain point, you got so strong that like you weren't even taking death warps. Like sometimes when you take a death and you're at the castle, it reminds you like, what can I do in this area? Oh yeah, the basement. But you never went back home. So it was like, he may never go into the grave. That's a problem.
Yeah, I had so many things running through my head. I get to 15. I know it's probably go. But if I take a lot of damage on Charlock, I'm not going to have enough damage to make it. So once I dove grave, I'm like, I'm just going to fight my way to 16 as I get there. And then that damn red dragon, right before I got to the spike tile, just could not run away from him.
Yeah, that was gross, but it's a heads up play to like, whenever you're going to be getting that next level, you don't want to just abort because the next level could give you the stats. And it did. It gave you like 12 power or something. So it was like, oh, I guess I should still go for this. And fortunately for you, we looked it up. Dragon Lord only had 152 HP. So, it worked out.
It did. But just not quick enough.
Yeah, it was close. You guys were both approaching the mini boss at the same time. And, it was super exciting to watch as you guys were approaching. But let's see. Do we have vertical sandwich? I'm seeing a mute symbol in the Discord, so you might have to unmute.
We do have vertical sandwich in chat. Hopefully he can get his audio setting. There we go. Vertical sandwich, can you hear us? GG's.
I think you may even have to do a push to talk, and if that's not set up, that's a whole thing as well. I don't know.
Sometimes I forget that I have to unmute my mic in OBS too. Sometimes that helps.
Oh, is there a mute setting for the mic in OBS as well? Wow. So there's all sorts of ways you can be muted.
All sorts of ways.
My actual mic has a mute button too. Like you might mute yourself for your run, and then it's like you're physically like muted on your mic. Got all sorts of things here. Let's see if vertical sandwich is like setting up push to talk in Discord. Why don't we continue talking to ScarletShadoww? So I think one of the big things about this seed that we were sort of commending you guys for, both of you, is that this particular double key start was really tricky because there was this option that you both eventually did of like ghetto grinding cursed belts and like walking back and forth to the town, which is so rare that it was amazing that you guys both thought to do it.
It's awesome that vertical sandwich thought it too, because man, it was running through my head. I kind of figured it out maybe as I was trying to grind for money for a key. Then I realized I had the belts in my inventory. I'm like, oh, there's many ways I could do this.
Yeah, and it just works out because there happened to be an extra key in the treasury, right? So you can just keep going in there as many times as you want, which is not usually what happens. Like if you tried to pull cursed belts out of there, you would just burn your key, right? But since there was like a replacement key, it was funny because you guys both kind of were on one key for a while. It was like hard for you guys to get more keys, but and then there was the whole thing about getting the gold grind set up down in the basement. So you go in and you empty out the treasury, and then all of a sudden you guys were geared up. So it turns out the vertical sandwich did both of those things like a few minutes before you did, but
okay.
That may have contributed to the small lead that he had. But I mean, I just thought it was amazing that you guys both thought to even approach it that way. The start I thought was really complicated.
Well, that was a fun challenge for sure. I really thought I was doing quite well on exploration and the golem grind going into Charlock, but just got held up by forgetting that grave for sure.
Speaking of golems, you had one of the longest, most epic golem fights ever. You had no healing spell, and you were just like using the occasional herb to like with the flute, and like that was crazy.
I was worried it was going to be a huge waste of time, but after I got maybe like 5 hits in a row on that one sleep from the flute, I knew I had a shot if I just stuck with it.
Yeah, that was impressive. It ended up leading to a quest item. I'm sure you were probably hoping for the sword or the armor, but it was a required fight. Of course, like, I think it was a level after that, or maybe 2 levels after that, you had heal more, and it would have been a lot easier if you had it at that time. That's always the way. I wonder if Vertical Sandwich, if there's any shot here. What's the status?
I keep seeing him try to mute and unmute. Muting the headphones.
Yeah, I see that little symbol in Discord. I just always think it's like more of like a physical, like my mic has an actual button that can be muted. But someone told me that you also have, like, if you don't have push to talk set up in Discord, then maybe sometimes it just doesn't even let you do it.
Yeah, I will say I think using the Discord app is better than using the in a browser. So that's one thing that does it for me for some reason. Another thing too is like you got to check the source on your microphone and your headphones. It might be like if it says default, it might not even be sending sound to anything. I don't know. Sorry, I'm getting off in the weeds, but I don't know. Just some troubleshooting tips that have helped me in the past.
Yep, check the input device on your voice and video settings.
Yeah, and these apps have a mind of their own, and they'll change your output location even though you've said it once before. So,
oh, for sure.
Looks like you had 6 deaths on your journey, so it was more or less a pretty smooth run. Probably most of those deaths were really early before you guys had healing spells.
Yeah, I had at least one death warp that was intentional. I think when I was fighting Axe Knights, I was going to just waste my magic and get back home. I was worried at that point that I had not grinded fast enough, and I was a little bit behind in experience because of all the meandering for the gold grind and everything else.
Yeah, I guess the one thing that tripped you up with the routing was just getting back to Deep Grave in a timely manner. I think on Vertical Sandwich's side, one thing that seemed like he forgot, although you never know until we ask him, but you guys had all that back and forth in Cantlin in the first 5 minutes, but then he like never checked the coordinates. Like just went out onto the map and just didn't know what the coordinates were, even though it was the first town that you guys found. So that was amusing, but ended up realizing it like on one of his death warps and went back in. And so it didn't end up being too costly. Well, Centroid, I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get these tech issues resolved here.
I will say I think both of you were very even most of the race. I think honestly you guys took a little divergence early on when I think you took some time on the first continent to do some work while I think you did your count early, whereas Vertical Sandwich went to the second continent and just did all the exploration. So that kind of allowed you to do the staff cave on your first trip, which definitely saved you a little bit of time. And then you guys kind of evened out at the same level of exploration. I think just the point where the two routes diverged again was when Vertical Sandwich found the armor. He decided to dive the grave maybe 30 or 40 minutes in. But
yeah, because at the point when he got the sword, he was in true grind and go, and because he had everything at that point. But anyway, it's a shame we couldn't talk to Vertical Sandwich, but I believe that puts him maybe at 4-1 if I'm remembering things right. So excellent tournament so far.
That looks correct, yeah.
And we have some additional races in our future. Let's see, what do we have here? I think that some of the ones from the 18th have probably already happened by the time this broadcast airs. And Friday, we're looking at some additional races there. Only a few of them hey, one of my races is finally coming around. I've been very slow about scheduling these things. But let's see, because for the 18th we have, scheduled, and then this will probably air after that. Tomorrow 5:30. A couple of things at 9 o'clock. Saturday seems open. So as we're getting later into the tournament, the schedule's lightening up because people have gotten all their races over with already. So that's good news. And I have no idea if we would actually raid anybody following this broadcast because that hasn't been determined yet. But great race once again. Good luck in your upcoming races, Shadow.
Thank you. Much appreciated. Thanks to all the commentators, restreamers, trackers, everybody for helping out and volunteering and putting in the work for the tournament. We appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you guys to the runners for putting on a show. Thanks to viewers for supporting the community here. Centroid, double duty today. That was awesome. Archfield behind the scenes with the restream. Yeah, thanks everybody out there. I'm sure there's links if you want to join Discord, if you want to follow the runners or the crew here. Other than that, keep an eye out on this channel in the next few days for more races. So that's going to do it. Have a good rest of your night, everybody, and see you next time.